Huddersfield 0-2 Forest, Grabban nets and Nicholls scores own goal. At last, a shaft of brightness to pierce the thick gloom at Nottingham Forest. With the kind of effective performance seen so seldom under Chris Hughton, they rounded off yet another trying week with their first championship win of the season. It's funny how fortunes can turn, sometimes even within the space of a couple of days. On Thursday, when Forest fired Hughton the morning after their sixth defeat from 7 league games this season, they were football's laughingstock once more. Such a churn of managers, they're searching for a 20th since 2011, inevitably invites mockery as they propped up the second tier. But by 5 p.m. on Saturday, as Forest's happy travelling support sang Derby's going down with a fiver in the bank, they weren't even the most troubled club in the East Midlands. If the prospect of Derby's 21-point deduction provided succor after a grim few days, goals from Lewis Grabban and Joe Lowley in this win at Huddersfield put real spring in the step. Forest may still be bottom of the standings, but here was a building block with Steve Cooper waiting in the wings to become their new manager. Huddersfield Town, 3-4-2-1, Nicholls, Pearson, Turton 46, Lees, Colwell, Thomas, Hogg, C. O'Brien, Toffolo, Sinani, Karoma, Holmes 58, Ward, Ajibeko 58, substitutes not used, Bilikapic, GK, Vallejo, Campbell, SAR manager, Carlos Corberan booked, Ward, Turton Nottingham Forest, 3-4-2-1, Samba, Worrell, Figueiredo, McKenna, Spence, Richardson 79, Yates, Garner, Lowe, Johnson, Colback 79, Lowley, Mighton 61, Grabban, C. Substitutes not used, Harvath, GK, Mbiso, Cafu, Taylor caretaker manager, Stephen Reed scorers, Grabban 22, Lowley 49 booked, Garner referee, Chris Kavanagh, Lancashire, attendance, 17,462, 1,951 away. One of the numerous criticisms during Hughton's tenure was that Forest played too negatively and were far more concerned with keeping the ball out of their own net than finding their opponents. Invariably, they would concede anyway and then lacked the capability to respond. Stephen Reed may only be in caretaker charge, but he was clearly determined not to fall into that trap. Reed only had 48 hours to prepare for this fixture, but once the action started it was obvious he wanted Forest to at least try and seize the initiative. Their football in spells was as bright as their luminous lime and orange third kit, and it paid off handsomely in a desperately needed victory. In fairness to Huddersfield, it was nigh on impossible to second-guess how Forest would set up under their caretaker boss, and they were visibly taken aback by the strugglers' intent early on. Brennan Johnson, 20, is one of the most exciting prospects to emerge from Forest's academy in a long time, and he was granted license to run at Huddersfield down the right. And that paid off spectacularly for the opening goal after 22 minutes. Chelsea loanee Levi Colwell just wasn't able to get close enough to Johnson as he sprinted his way clear down the touchline. Sensing the dart of Grabban in the centre, Johnson whipped in the perfect cross that Forest skipper met with a near-post diving header to beat Lee Nicholls. It prompted an explosion of joy and relief in a packed away end after another inglorious week in Forest's recent history. Huddersfield took some time to spark and despite a few corners could only carve out one noteworthy opening before half-time. Josh Karoma's through pass picked out Harry Toffolo inside the Forest box, but keeper Bryce Samba reacted quickly to smother the ball. And just 3 minutes after the break, Forest stung Huddersfield for a second time. An initial 20-yard shot by Ryan Yates was pushed out by Nicholls, but not to safety. Lowley picked the ball up and despite the tight angle fired for goal, finding the net via a deflection. Huddersfield still had over 40 minutes to mount